when I started was Gordon Montague, because Gordon drove a V8 OMC. And I used to, and I'm working on really, really world-class motorcycles at the time. And Gordon's winning in outboard drag racing.
Yeah.
Minimal budgets. You know, they're not even comparable. Mm-hmm. But I respected Gordon so much for how gnarly those things ran with nitrous and V8.
Yeah, yeah.
Horrible. Yeah. And it was awesome. The first outboard drag boat race I ever went to, I think Gordon actually drove, and I was hooked forever.
Yeah.
And I don't think we ever got to line up against one another. I wanted to, but we never got to race each other.
Yeah, that's cool. That's how I felt when I went to Jasper in 2019, and I just started racing up here in 2019. And we have a class which is called Outlaw up here, and our Outlaw boats are like a pro mod, I guess you would say, and I'd watched those all summer at the races and thought they were super cool. So I remember standing on the bank at Jasper, the first two pro drag boats that lined up. I can't remember who it was, doesn't matter. Anyways, but as soon as they left, I remember looking at my friend like they just went from here to there like that. I was just completely blown away.
It kills me. I watched a video today of Brad Williams, I think, taking off in a race with V8, and the fucking thing was a missile. It just how are you going to deal with that?
Oh, for sure. And that
same as everybody else. I mean, unfortunately, they published that video, so.
Yeah, everybody's working hard now.
Back there, and that one back there is getting ready for Brad.
No, that's good, man. That's what we need boats, man. We need boats out there, and we need boats in pro drag and stuff. And I understand it's expensive and stuff. And, totally. I mean, heck, I couldn't do it, but that's what the people want to see on the bank. You know what I mean? They want to see it. They want to see the fast boats. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know the answers, but I think that there's a lot of people that, like yourself and myself and others, that are passionate enough about it, and collectively.
I don't either. I mean, maybe the community can work it out and figure out how to grow it, but it's all starts at that organization levels. There's ODBA, the DSRA, and the Blarney guys, or Blarney.
Yeah, Umpire, I think it's called, or something like that. Yeah.
Those guys are awesome, and
they have some pretty good turnouts out there, so for sure.
No, it's a tough time to try to grow the sport, but if we don't try, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Got to get everybody in one place, and that's what Jasper's always good. Or I keep calling it Jasper, but I know it's different this year. But you get, I think it'll always be.
I'm going to call it Jasper forever.
It'll always kind of be Jasper, right? So.
My daughter she's like a hot rod medical person these days, and all we did was Jasper for 15 years.
Yeah,
and
super
she
cool.
helped me just get ready for Jasper and dyno test, and God, we just got ready for Jasper, and all the nicest people at Jasper, and it was always fun.
Yeah.
That's the best part about this style of racing, is it's supposed to be fun.
Oh, for sure.
And sometimes, like, I lost my temper last week, which was stupid, but it happens. But the whole thing is supposed to be a good experience, and club level racing, which is what we're doing in all reality, but it's to all of us. To me, I turn off that shit that has endless budgets, because we work with we all have the same tight budgets, and we all just kill ourselves to make our shit haul ass. And Jasper is the place. I live for Jasper. Every time I won Jasper, I was there on Monday morning, testing Monday morning.
Yeah.
5 days before everybody else.
Sure. Yeah.
So I had maybe a little more resources at the time to do that kind of stuff, but I went there to win.
Yeah,
and
sure.
That level of competition exists all through motorsport. Shit, tonight, I just before this thing, I just watched Ford win the NASCAR race. Ford hasn't won a race in freaking forever.
Yeah.
Ford guys were. Anyways, it's very, very cool to see diversity up at the front.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I know obviously you can't talk too much about the stuff you got working on, but I'm sure that shop's full of some pretty cool stuff there right now. And you, like you say, you made mention you got a pro.
There's cool stuff here, and all I can really talk about is the F1 shit is been kind of on hold because of COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
F1 overseas.
Yeah.
We, Sammy, Celio, the 11 team, Team Sharjah, they're I love those guys. They were really fast at the end of 2019. Sean and Sammy were battled for the lead, and Sammy spun. We have very competitive 2.5s over there. God, you just made me think of Ron Anderson.
Yeah.
Ron Anderson is like my hero. When I was 17 or 18 doing superbikes, I was following Ron in outboards.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I again before my time, but that name sure has come up an awful lot, throughout the years.
And Alex Liddon.
Alex Liddon, yeah, that's another name. Yeah. It's actually funny that you mentioned those two names because just earlier on, I was talking to Rob Twyble on the phone, and he said, we were talking about this interview tonight. He goes, dude, now you're already at the top. He goes, where are you going to go with these interviews from here? And I said, I don't know.
Oh, gag me. I mean, there's always somebody better. I mean,
and he said he just said, he goes, oh, it'd be so cool. And those were the two names of guys. He goes, I don't even know if Ron would do it, but he said if you could, that would be a great guy to
Ron and I are unbelievable. I think we're great friends, and
sure.
Ron and I collaborated over the years because there's a small community within the dyno dorky guys, like there is with anything music or any sort of thing. And Ron and I have always kind of shared information, and when we get stuck, I wouldn't be afraid to call him for help or vice versa.
Yeah.
And even at one point we're like, just send me that engine, send me your engine, and we'll just swap engines and let's run them.
Yeah.
And he sent me one, and I ran it, and we were within like 1 or 2 horsepower on, shitbox dynos that I might have $500,000 in. NASCAR machine is $2 million.
Yeah.
But our shit was dialed, and Ron is world class.
Yeah,
I mean,
I understand.
Just a nice man, and I would love to work on the same team as Ron to try to win an F1 World Championship. But our careers are probably going on a little different path.
Sure, of course.
We're both kind of at the end.
Yeah.
But Ron's playing golf a lot more than I am.
Yeah, good for him.
I want to drive. I still want to drive.
Yeah, good for you.
Oh, totally. I'm if it works out right, I'm going to be driving sooner than later.
Yeah, that would be very cool to see. Good for you. Good to see. And I want to touch on another couple of things too. I mean, I know you'd have some health issues, but I see you've really got your life on track with your fitness, and your nutrition has changed and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if you want to talk about that, but I think that's super cool. I see your mountain bike videos and that sort of thing, and I think, man,
you are what you eat, evidently.
Yeah.
And you don't eat right. I spent a lot of years not eating right, and you need to eat right. You need to exercise.
Yeah,
we heard that when we were little kids.
Yeah, and I mean, even as racers, I think that your physical fitness stems back to your overall well-being and your clarity and thinking and all that kind of stuff. And
this morning I did 3 hours on a paddleboard this morning. So from 5:30 till 8:30,
good for you.
Paddleboard. It's either that or a mountain bike or walking, hiking, and a balance is good.
For sure. No, good for you.
I'm at the age where I kind of knew I screwed up a little bit, so I'm kind of overdoing it right now.
Yeah, but I think you're probably enjoying it too. Yeah. I look at the backdrop of your mountain bike trips, and I'm jealous. It looks like a beautiful place to ride, and I like to ride a bit myself too with my son and whatnot. And that's awesome, man. Good for you. So it'd be very cool to see you back in the seat too. But yeah, man. I just it's. I don't know. Like I say, I think doing this stuff here is one step. And one thing that you had mentioned that just triggered with me a second ago was when you said, you guys would share information back and forth. And that's the very cool thing with the sport. And I've brought that up in other interviews. I brought it up when I talked to Brett and stuff. And Brett's a perfect example. I'd only met Brett once in Jasper very briefly. I was just introduced to him, but I've spent hours with him on the phone discussing stuff, and he's helped me with my Pro Stock package immensely. And I don't even know the guy. Like, we've become good friends, but the people along the way that, in 2019, I raced up here and I won every race all year, and I thought that I was really onto something. I didn't know jack shit. I thought I did. But the end of that year was I went to Jasper and I started thinking, I would like to race Pro Stock. And then I put data in my boat and realized how friggin' slow it really was compared to what I thought it was. And anyways, these people that, Eric Kaiser and Brad and Rob Twyble and Danny Spears and these guys that I hardly know, and we've become great friends and have helped me out. I'm like, man, and that's maybe why I try to be very careful with my videos not to sell them as educational, because I don't feel that I'm educated to do that. I just am sharing what I do. And
I've always shared what I do. If anybody anybody can call me, and I never lie. I just tell the truth. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you might not, like if Ron called me today and he's working for Dubai, and I'm working for Sharjah, would I tell him where he's stuck the port timing?
Yeah, sure. Of course, I get that. Yeah.
But common sense, keeping the sport alive, data is everything in racing, and that's where boat racing has been just leap years behind. Mm-hmm. I mean, geez, when I started boat racing, we brought EFI technology. The ECU was 6,000. The ignition was 2,000 or 3,000. Then there's a data logger that was 2,000 or 3,000. Then there was a GPS that was 16,000.
Wow.
So you're into something 55,000 in 1998, 97.
Yeah.
Just to get good data, because the only reason I do that is because I worked in real racing, and
sure, I
worked for Penske and Yamaha and Honda, blah, 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 and I could see what everybody's doing. So I knew who to contact. And you just had to peel bank to test against yourself.
Yeah.
And then we'd go to the races, and then we'd hear, just like today, we would hear times are here and we're here. Mm-hmm. Our times are more realistic because they're really expensive computers doing it.
Sure, yeah.
But funny you mentioned Brett, and we just won a race. Brett and Mike and a bunch of guys won. We didn't have any data for any of that.
Is that right?
Still to this day.
Wow. Even
from Jasper a year ago.
Yeah.
Brett just didn't even finish in the top 4. Mikey won, and we've all been too busy with life, and we couldn't even get the shit to communicate with one another. So we have Motec dashes and Mtron ECUs and Link and Plex. And the bottom line is we still don't have data, except for we have data with the newer effort, which is Mitch Ludwig and his brother Matt, who are insanely, unbelievably nice people. Mm-hmm. And I still haven't looked at the data from, what it takes to run 800 feet.
Sure, yeah.
But that was a shit race because it was rough water and it was just all messed up. But I don't know the data now. And when you say you study your data, study your own data. Yeah. Just put the blinders on to what everybody else is doing. Just do your own thing and race against yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's always kind of been my mindset. And I work as hard as I can, and I have a budget, and I work inside that, and I'm gonna, that gets me what it gets me, right? And but because I just want to race. And anyways, I maybe, if I can inspire, or if any of us can inspire one person, if when I started chatting with Brett back in the day, he didn't know me from Adam. I'm some honky from Canada. If he said, "Listen, bud, I don't have any time for you," there's one less guy myself that's probably going to come down there and race because nobody was willing to help me to get there. Do you know what I mean? So, now I am going to come to race, and then my kid is probably going to come to race, and I think like one at a time, and maybe these videos will inspire one other person to go, hey man, he can do it on a budget.
The Dave Pugh up here, Philip Hollis, Jonathan Linskow, his son, Ingram, DeWitt DeWeese, and Daryl. Oh my God, those guys had Motec engine management maybe before I was using EFI Technologies. I don't remember. We were all back 25 years ago really way farther ahead than the field is right now, because I don't think the passion's any different.
Oh,
that we didn't. We all just killed ourselves to win. And,
yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of really good people in the sport, and hopefully we can bring more in. And Dave Pugh's bringing them in. You are with your son. I know that if I come to, if I could snap my fingers and have a big pile of money right now, I would bring a female driver that I know would be competitive because she's a mega world champion at other motorsports. And I would do it because it would be good for the sport.
Sure.
And she lives here in Lake Havasu.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And and if she doesn't drive it, I'm going to drive it anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll build it, but I would like to keep bringing the younger,
for sure,
people in. It would be no different than NASCAR, or it's just. But we're gonna, they're gonna want to race electric boats before we know it.
I know, and that's another whole
that's a whole other conversation.
A whole other conversation for sure. But
Two-strokes are a weird deal, Mark. There's not a lot of. Just so it's perfectly clear in our little following in outboards, motorcycle racing is extremely hard to win at the high end level, but you also have like a 6-speed gearbox that you can play with, so you can deal with this really narrow power band where you're on the pipe, but with the boats, we're idling in it. 1,500, you chomp on the pedal and choke, or
exactly,
and depending on the weight, and so there's I could never do the math to be the rule maker for cubic inch to weight. There's no way that I know how to do the math, and I suck at math anyway. But honestly, it's different. It's a different sport. So whatever exists out there for rules, and the existing race clubs really have a pretty good idea of where things should be, or they did until just recently anyway.
For sure. And I think, like I say, you
F1 included. I can bring an OMC that I think I might be getting homologated again. I could just bring it and say, Sammy, let's put this 3-liter OMC on the back of your boat. And Sammy's going to probably be good, but it's going to be really fair. It's not going to be off a mile. Yeah. He's going to, it's not going to change much because the rules are correct.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that's always the biggest struggle. I mean, with any form of racing, and I'm sure the powers to be are, everybody's doing the best that they can, and I think collectively the clubs obviously want to get it sorted out and get everybody racing, which is awesome. And I know they will. And I know they will too. And that's super cool. And I think everybody's going to be back. And I don't envy any one of them trying to make those decisions, because it's a very, very tough one. I'm involved in our club up here, and I understand it's, it's always tough. But anyways, that's
Mark, I couldn't imagine being involved in making rules, because I can for sure, but I'm more on the engineering side. Sure. And just give us the rules. Yeah, we'll adapt, and we'll change the chassis, and it's no different from pro stock in 1980 or outboards today with ODBA or DSRA. If they give you a rules package, you have to try to shift around your stuff. Yeah. We recently had a deal because we the rules changed, we just spent all kinds of money and time testing, and huge amount of money and time, and then now our package isn't going to be so good anymore, and we're going to probably get beat. And we don't go to lose, but we're still gonna. I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm gonna go back to work.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I know you will, and that's the beauty of it. That's why I'm here talking to you, because that's inspiring for sure.
I had really good teachers and really good drivers and friends and teammates, and the boat thing it's an honor to deal with guys like Brett Hamilton right now, Eric Kaiser. If I could, oh my God, Eric Kaiser is the man. He's a driver from hell, and he's sharp.
Yeah, great.
We spent a lot of time in the dyno together, and I think Eric could win every race. If we could give him a package good enough, I think his driving skills and his engineering skills.
Sure.
Between the two of us, he's a great guy. But we had an accident, and it's over.
It's unfortunate, and you're definitely working with some good people there, like you say, the guys in your on your team and whatnot. So and you know what, it's exciting. Like I say, it's gonna bring some excitement when everybody finally gets teamed up and everybody's racing and that sort of thing. I'm super excited about that. But in the meantime, I kind of bug people to take time out of their schedule and talk to me about it, and I look forward to. I can't wait to coverage. But anyways, where I was going with that is I'm looking forward to. By now we should have been 3 or 4 races in, and I want to shoot video at the races. You know what I mean? That's what I want to bring to the people. I'm going to race myself, but as soon as I hop out of the boat, I'm going to, and I think that's super cool. So I'll definitely be doing that in Jasper.
And carry it on. Go for it, dude. Just go for it. I mean, I'm in the film business, and it's not that expensive to do it, but it's getting into air.
Yeah.
That's the little bit of the challenge, but
that's the nice thing. That's the nice thing with social media and YouTube, right? Is it gives us all a platform to do that, and
totally,
super cool. And
getting into television is difficult, but it's kind of where it needs to be. But I don't know if it's possible today, but I wouldn't say it's impossible by any means.
Yeah, and even like I say, live feeds, Bang Shift and a bunch of those companies that do the drag races, even if it's a paid subscription. I mean, heck, if we could get coverage at a race and then the people back home that can't be there can watch the race for $10, from their couch, that's all exposure, right? And and that's what they're doing with a lot of these big, even the no prep races and that sort of stuff. And so, anyways,
there's that whole thing you're bringing up, the no prep. That should be the target.
Yeah.
To do what they're doing, because I mean, there's a lot more of them than there is us, but they're doing something right.
Yeah, and I think you and I touched briefly on. We talked about Pat Musey last night. And obviously, his daughter has become quite a TV star and everything with the whole Street Outlaws, and she brings an energy. But it was funny. I watched an interview with Pat the other day, and I mean, Pat's been around this stuff a long, long time, and he's a class racer, meaning he likes a rule set and stuff. And they actually interviewed him at a no prep race, and they said, "What's your take on all this?" He goes, "I don't know." He said, "But look at the people here." He said, like, this shit is real. And he said, it kind of takes me back to the old match race days. There's an excitement again, a respark. And I think I may have told you last night, I know they're up in Ohio somewhere this weekend. There's like a back of the track, pour your own puddle, no prep race. And the small tire class pays $100,000 to win.
Oh,
they're expecting 200 cars and X amount of, because that's just where that seems to be the
we need that sort of no rules kind of a thing.
Yeah, and that's why
boats, it's a little bit difficult because of the weight of the boat, and then carbon fiber, and blah blah blah, and safety.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been involved in horrific crashes, and it is what it is. Our boats are a little more on the edge than the car guys stuff.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And even though you're in a roll cage, but when I look in their capsules versus our capsules in F1 or my Hydro that I had, we're in a proper capsule. Sure. They're in this condominium with, jungle gym. they're going to hit their head.
Yeah.
If they have an accident. But I would love to see the boats go to the next level if we could figure out how the heck to do it. And I know Tim Seabold, Bill Seabold, everybody that's been involved, from Al Stoker, all the original guys way back when, all feel the same way. They want to see it to continue.
Sure.
We just need to get the manufacturers back involved.
Manufacturers back in, and then I like I say,
Come on, Mercury.
Yeah.
Come on, Mercury.
Yeah. And I think the excitement, like I say, the passion of grudge style, I really do. I mean, call outs and that sort of thing. I think it just sparks that interest, especially
if the OEMs aren't going to do it, then it should be Jay Smith against Gordon Montague, or Gordon Montague against Dave Pugh, or Dave Bush against Caleb Kaiser. There should be all this shit that makes it exciting. And then you've got McKinsey coming up, and if I bring my female driver, is going to probably beat up on McKinsey. Sorry, Chip.
No, that's super cool.
Kidding, but that would be really, really cool to get that kind of stuff going, to where we, engineering goes up, the work goes up.
Yeah.
Testing, and we use really good equipment to test with.
No doubt.
And everybody thinks it's engines. The engine's here. The chassis is probably there, and the propeller's probably like there.
Yeah, for sure.
There. And engines are always okay.
Yeah.
And ours move up and down, and in F1 it's the same thing. We could slip in a 350 horsepower F1 engine to a 360, 375.
Yeah.
And the driver won't notice.
Yeah.
Because it's just that one measurement.
Yeah.
The whole package is
that's cool. Well, that's cool, and I think I thank you for bringing this tidbit of information up. I think it's great, and I think everybody watching is going to really enjoy it. And
oh God, I'm accused of talking too much, but I'm so passionate about it. I love to see everybody just go for it, and from Bussard to, doesn't matter, all the different people that I love seeing people win and work hard and get results.
Sure. I do too, and
I'm committed to it till I die. We're going to help people, and it's it's a fun sport. It's different
for sure. Yeah, no, it's super great, and I think I should probably round this up. We've been talking for a while, and Dave, I appreciate you, man. I really do. Thanks for reaching out to me, and thanks for taking the time to do this.
No, thank you. I want to get. Thank you for trying. If we get like half of a human involved from this conversation,
sure,
that's
then it's a positive, right?
It's
for
a
sure.
Win, and it's a positive.
For sure. And I look forward to to meeting you in person. I'm sure I will one day. And anyways,
come down. Oh, and your buddy up there, Brian Geiger. Brian and I are the best of friends.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
And he's unbelievable person to collaborate with.
Yeah.
And we spend countless hours flip side of this computer on the other computer.
Yeah.
Designing components, and Brian is world class human being and machinist.
His work, his machining is unbelievable.
Oh my God, it's awesome.
And we got good companies. You and I talked about last night. We talked about Gil at Speedwire, and Gil and I are good friends. You and Gil are good friends, and there's companies involved, and
it's a small world, really.
And I tag all those guys in all my posts, and I say to people all the time, I am not sponsored by any one of them, but these are products that I like to work with, so I'm gonna plug them, and that's how this shit should work. And there's too much me, I, and things, and the sooner we all sort of collectively come together and pass the credit where it's due, and everybody work hard and appreciate each other for what they do, the better this is going to be, and I look forward to seeing it unfold that way. So again, thank you so much, Dave. Yeah, I appreciate you, buddy.
My pleasure. Thanks a ton.
Okay, bud. We'll chat real soon, okay?
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Good night.